Thanks to estrogen, women of reproductive age have better gut integrity than men. Did you know that? Really interesting fact. But as we head towards perimenopause, we can start as early as 35. Our gut integrity can be impacted by the change in hormones and estrogen fluctuating, and particularly it starts to decline as we head towards perimenopause. Now you might wonder, why do I all of a sudden have all of these bloating, food sensitivity issues as I've aged over 35? I sure did, and it is because of your fluctuating levels of estrogen. So this is really important because constipation can typically occur later in life. And if you're one of those persons you're gross, I don't want to talk about poo, well, maybe you're one of those people that happily has a poo every single day. Some people, unfortunately, aren't always as lucky. And as you know, your digestive health and your immune health, it really is interlinked with how often you go to the toilet. You can have bacterial overgrowth if you don't go to the toilet regularly. And actually, it can really impair estrogen metabolism. And what that means is it can drive up insulin levels, you can get really sluggish bowels, you can get bloated, you can get skin issues, all sorts of things, and this is all from just pooing. And I know people who genuinely didn't have any issues until they started aging. So my kind of advice when it comes to constipation is not just go to the doctor and ask them, oh, what can I do? Because what they're going to tell you is you probably need to increase your fibre intake, drink some more water, maybe take Movicol or lactulose, which is a laxative. Now these aren't bad things, but they're not going to solve the underlying problem. And this is something that's probably going to be more long-term, particularly if you've got hormonal changes. Now I'm someone who suffered with constipation for a long time, so this is just beyond hormonal, and I had to get to the root cause of my challenges. Mine was actually really linked to low stomach acid. Now actually, all the women I seem to work with who are mums typically fail the bicarb soda test. Now, I'll go through what the bicarb soda test is shortly, but basically this test identifies if you've got low stomach acid. So why do we need stomach acid? So stomach acid is required to absorb and digest nutrients. A lot of people think when they've got reflux and gastritis and issues like that, that they've got too much acid in their stomach. It's actually the opposite, which is low stomach acid. And so you need stomach acid to be able to absorb those nutrients, and a lot of people with low stomach acid not only have constipation issues, they're bloating, and they also have nutrient deficiencies because they're not absorbing those nutrients properly. So what I do is when I work with women is I try and go through a series of steps of trying to understand what is going on with their gut integrity. Now, the reason why I talked about constipation at the start is because it's something that people genuinely identify if they have it. But not everyone who has gut integrity issues has constipation. They can have a lot of other symptoms. And actually, there's different things called leaky gut, which, is basically when your gut lining has holes in it and you have toxins coming through that can cause so many gut issues. So the first question that I do ask when I work with women is, do you have any sort of physical symptoms of gut issues, like those ones I talked about, constipation, bloating, whatever? Or do you have any indirect issues like skin issues, fatigue, anxiety? These could be all interlinked with your gut health. Second of all is, do you have any reflux? Do you have any sort of issues that could be damaging your gut lining? So your mucosal structure of your gut is impacted. And usually you know that by doing something called the apple cider vinegar test. So these are two really amazing natural tests. The apple cider vinegar test is for people to test whether they actually get any burning sensation or pain when they take it. And if you've got really low stomach acid, and you've got damage to your gut mucosal lining, it will burn. And for me personally, it burns for me because I've historically had gut issues and reflux issues. I don't have them now, but I don't take apple cider vinegar because my stomach lining is particularly compromised. So also, when you take these two tests, then you can really understand how you can work with a woman, whether you need to go to a gut repair protocol and take some natural supplements such as gentian root and betaine HCl, which actually supports your stomach acid, or you need something more like a super enzyme because your gut mucosal lining could be more damaged and you're not digesting foods properly. Otherwise, other people might, they actually might pass these tests and they might be fine, and they can just, maximize their food intake, making sure they have better vegetables to optimize digestion, and making sure they eat well holistically and, absorbing nutrients properly. But overall, gut health is something that really is impacted by aging in women, and it's all hormonally interlinked. So if you do feel a bit off when it comes to your hormones and you feel like you've got some really strange gut issues going on, try and understand what's going on with your root causes. Typically, when you've got leaky gut issues, it comes up in your blood work as low neutrophils, low globulin, You typically have, sensitivities to foods such as gluten and dairy. And then you also have sort of autoimmune challenges as well. So if you are, having some of these symptoms, try and get into the root cause of the problem, because taking Movicol and lactulose for constipation or trying to find sort of like a medication approach that just covers the symptoms isn't going to be good for you long term, because as we head towards perimenopause, these symptoms get exacerbated if you don't get to the root cause. So always start with the root cause when you're looking at gut health. Try and not mask the symptoms temporarily, because for me now, I go regularly. I know that's a bit overshare, but it's great, and I never used to have that. And I know those people are probably thinking, oh, Rush, stop talking about poo. Trust me, you'll be thanking me later on when you head towards perimenopause.